UFC 329, McGregor vs. Holloway is going down this Saturday, and these are my predictions for the entire card. The Mac is back. The return of McGregor. It's finally here. Barring any tragic events happening this week, we're actually going to see Conor McGregor step back into the octagon this Saturday. I can't tell you how excited I am. This card overall should be a banger. So let's just get right into it. Starting with the early prelims. We got the opening fight of Alessandro Costa versus Cody Durden. I will be taking Alessandro Costa to win this fight. You know, Cody Durden just plays the victim a little too well. In his last few fights, you know, he's coming off a win, but in his last few fights, he just hasn't looked. He's looked very stoppable. We'll say that. Costa's, you know, buddies with Diego Lopez, trains with Diego Lopez. I think that's going to help him out a lot in this fight. I'm going to take Costa to win this one. You know, not much to this. I just think Costa's much better overall. He's much more well-rounded. I don't really see an area where Durden's gonna be better in the fight than Costa. So I'm gonna take Costa to win this by a very, very dominant, unanimous decision, but he very well could get a finish in there. Next up the card, we have Ryan Gondra versus Zach Reese. I will be taking Ryan Gondra to win this fight. You know, he's looked very good on Contender Series and in the LFA. He's looked good in the UFC. You know, Zach Reese hasn't looked the best. He's getting slam KO'd by Cody Brundage. He's Pereira. I want to say he took it was a draw or a loss to Michel Pereira. Just not a very good look in his last few fights. Granted, the Brundage fight was a while ago, but overall, I just think Gondra's a better fighter. He's got more power in his hands. Reese He's a extreme couture guy. He trains with Strickland, so that could help him in this fight. But I think Gondra's going to be too much, and I think he's going to find the early knockout. Not early in a sense of you know, a minute into the fight, but first round, early second round. I don't think this is going to get past the midway mark of the fight. Ryan Gondra to win this one. Next up the card, we have Farid Basharat versus John Garza. That's not John Garza. That's Ethan Ewing. Short notice opponent. I'm taking Basharat. That, you know, I think this got announced today. I actually just heard about this one. So, you know, quick little rundown. I'm taking Basharat to win this fight. I did not do a whole lot of research, so can't give you a whole lot on this one. Next up the card, we have the man himself. Old Damian Penis versus Cesar Almeida. You know, Penis, he's a real lengthy fighter. Honestly, I thought he fought at welterweight. This is at middleweight, so he's got some girth to him too, you know. Penis is kind of girthy. Alright, no more. I will be taking Damian to win this fight. Almeida is good though. I don't think Pinas is going to just run through Almeida like he has his past opponents. I think he's got like 2 fights that have made it out of the first round. Yeah, I don't really think he's just going to run through Almeida. Almeida is tough. He is a very solid striker himself. I want to say he was a Glory guy before his UFC stint. or MMA stint. I I'm gonna take the younger guy to win this fight though. He's taken a fair amount of damage. Almeida has in his career, just throughout a hole, and old DP hasn't quite had that. He knocks a lot of guys out in the first round. I think he has one submission, 8 knockouts. He might have one decision. I could be wrong on that. Um, I just think I think he's gonna be faster on the feet, and that's gonna be the real big factor here. Both guys have good power. Almeida he's got good accuracy and good power. He can put you away. I think Pinas is gonna be too fast in there, and he's gonna find the shot before Almeida finds the shot. So I am taking old DP to win this fight. Next up the card, we have Tracy Cortez versus Wang Kong. I saw Tracy Cortez fight. That is probably one of the top highlights of my life, just below watching Alexa Grasso and Macy Barber fight. Not only was that a sick finish, but I mean, hey, I just wish I was in the splash zone for that one, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I believe I know what you are saying.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Tracy to win this fight. This one is very close though. I could definitely see Wang Kong winning this one. Tracy's losses to Aaron Blanchfield and Rose Namajunas, the one I watched, those aren't terrible losses. They're, she's never been knocked out. She kind of has a bit of a Mexican durability, I'm gonna take her to win this fight. I think she's better on the ground. I think she's gonna be able to find that double leg or switch it up, switch to something that Wang Kong's not expecting. Because I guarantee Wang Kong's been drilling sprawls, getting the hips back, defending a double leg takedown. Because Tracy does have a very solid double leg. I will be taking Cortez to win this fight because I think she's going to be able to either get that double leg or switch it up and just get the takedown. You maybe get a single leg up against the fence, turn it into a trip. Maybe Wang Kong's just so worried about the double leg. She changes levels a couple times. She's so worried about the double leg, drops her hands, get dropped, and that's how it ends up on the ground. But I think Cortez is going to be able to basically just smother her on the ground if she gets it down there. I will be taking Cortez to win this fight by decision. I don't think she's going to submit her if it goes to the ground. I don't think she's going to knock out Wang Kong. Wang Kong could definitely go out there and just piece up Tracy. Just put her away. She's not really doing that, though. She's winning a lot of decisions against lower level opponents than Tracy Cortez is fighting. I'm taking the experience. Tracy Cortez to win. On to the prelims. We have a bit of a banger. All right. We have Luke Riley versus Kai Kamaka III. I'm going to take Luke Riley to win this fight. He's got really clean Muay Thai. He trains with Patty, so I would assume that his takedown defense and his ground game is improving. It looked a little iffy there in his first fight. I want to say it was his first fight. It might have been his Contender Series fight. No, I'm pretty sure it was his debut fight. It looked a little iffy. He got taken down, kind of got smudged a little bit. Got the win, ended up getting the win. He is undefeated. That's kind of part of the reason I'm taking him to win. Kai Kamaka had a few fights in the UFC. I think he went 1-2. 1-2 in a draw, maybe. Got cut went to the regional, had a few wins, got re-signed, fought a couple months ago, got a win that wasn't really supposed to be a win for him type deal. So he's unproven as far as I'm concerned. He's just as unproven as Luke Riley is, and I think Luke Riley has some clean striking on the feet. I think he's going to be able to piece up Kai Kamaka. I think his takedown defense should hold up if it's going the way I think it's going. Training with Patty, he should have a decent ground game. He was primarily a Muay Thai guy for a while there, so I think after his first fight, he kind of worked on that a lot. I'm gonna take him to get a TKO late second round. This could go to decision. Kamaka, he is, I think he's Hawaiian. He's Islander of some sort, so he's got that chin. But I think Riley's going to be able to crack it. I think Riley's going to be able to find that spot, and put Kamaka away. Maybe with an elbow. Riley does have some clean elbows in the clinch up against the fence. I could definitely see that. Or a knees to the body, really just weaken him, drop his hands, head kick. Something. I just see Luke Riley winning this by TKO. Next up the card, we have Cody No Love Garbrandt versus Adrian Yanez. This is a tough one. Both guys get chinned. I don't want to say super easily. Cody definitely gets chinned fairly easily. Yanez definitely gets chinned not as easily. Both guys have a puncher's chance in this fight, is what I'm trying to say here. I will be taking Adrian Yanez to win this fight, though. Cody Garbrandt, he just hasn't looked. He hasn't looked that good, really. The only reason he won his last fight is because of the nut kicks. So, and I chose him to win, so I was happy about that decision. But that's, he didn't win that fight. The only reason he did win that fight was because of the nut kicks. And even then, I feel like it should have been a draw, if I'm remembering correctly. Because I think they only took 1 point. And I feel like the Asian fella, he was fighting 1-2 rounds. So I don't know how it all panned out. Cody won in the end, but I don't think he's gonna get it done in this one. Yanez is good. I just think he's at this point in time. I think Yanez is a better fighter than Cody Garbrandt. Cody has slick boxing, but he really kind of just goes into the fight trying not to get knocked out, trying not to get chinned. And if you're scared of getting chinned, you're either gonna fight like shit or you're gonna get chinned. It's like that old saying in football. If you're scared of getting hurt, you're gonna get hurt. I guess that's not really a football saying. It's like that old saying. If you're scared of getting hurt, you're gonna get hurt. If you're doing stuff with so much caution that you're trying not to do something else, that something else is kind of bound to happen. Feel like some philosophers wrote about that way back in the day. Could be wrong. Fact check me. Long story short, I'm taking Adrian Yanez to chin Cody Garbrandt. Like I said, both guys have a questionable chin. Both guys do have power to knock the other one out. I think Yanez is going to find that shot before Cody does. I would love to see Prime No Love in the ring again. I just don't think it's going to happen. So I got to go with Adrian Yanez to win this fight. Next up the card. If you don't know my feelings about this fella, check out the video I've made about him. I do not like him. We have Gable Steveson fighting Elisha Ellison. Elisha? Probably like Eli. I don't know. Mr. Ellison. I'm going to take Gable Steveson to win this fight. He's 3-0. Allegedly, he's 6'1". He looks like a very, very short 6'1", if I'm being honest with you guys. I could be wrong on that. He doesn't look like a true 6'1" to me. He looks like a 5'11" and a half. You know, maybe a 6 foot, but he's trying to make himself seem like a true heavyweight. This might just be fake news propaganda, but I feel like when he was wrestling, his real height got leaked and it was like 5'10", 5'11". But that was a few years ago, so he might have grown a little bit. I don't know. But I would, just like the last fight, I would love for Elisha Ellison to go out there and just starch Gable Steveson in 5 seconds. First punch just dumps him. He's done. He's out. He's twitching on the canvas. You know, he pisses himself in the octagon. I would love that. I don't think it's gonna happen yet. I think Gable's probably gonna win this fight fairly easily. Once he starts getting around, you know, the 12, 13, 14 ranked guys, I think he's going to start having a bit of an issue. But I don't think these jobbers on a second or third career are really going to do it for him. I would love for Ellison to knock this guy out. I don't think it's going to happen. I think the opposite's going to happen. I think Gable's going to knock out Ellison. That's all we're spending on that. Robert the Reaper Whittaker, making his light heavyweight debut versus Nikita Krylov. I'm going to take Whittaker to win. You know, few reasons. I'll just name them off. He has some clean striking, decent power, lighter man skill. That's it, pretty much. I am joshing with you a little bit. Robert Whittaker, he was a very solid middleweight. You know, I still think he would beat a lot of guys at middleweight right now. He is getting older, so I think the weight cut. He says he walks around like 220, which is crazy. You know, fighting at 185, walking around 220. That's wild. But you're 6 foot, so it's like you're kind of pudgy at 220. You know, if you're cutting down to 185, it's not muscle 220. You know what I'm saying? Kind of crazy. So I think that's part of the light heavyweight jump. He does have lighter man skill. You know, I don't think it's gonna be just like levels and levels and levels above Krylov. Krylov is still a dangerous guy. He can knock you out or submit you. But I like Robert Whittaker in this fight. You know, I don't really know what it is. He's given up a lot of reach. 4 inches of reach. You know, Krylov's 3 inches taller. By all aspects, Whittaker is outmatched in this fight. You could say. I think he's gonna win this one. That's all it really is a gut feeling, I guess. You know, Krylov has been knocked out. He's been starched. Not like super recently, but fairly recently, Krylov has just been put away bad. You know, I am still kind of on the fence about his chin. Is the point I'm trying to make there? Is it's not like he's I think he got knocked out 2 fights ago. Maybe one fight and then he got a win. But his win was against Modestas Bukauskas. Got a very, very late knockout. Like 3 seconds left in the fight, got a knockout. Bukauskas has kind of shown that he doesn't really have that big power. Especially late in the fight. His last fight, I want to say, he was just... It was not looking good. I will be taking Robert Whittaker to win this fight. He's got good power. I'm on the fence about Krylov's chin. I think if Robert lands with like a big uppercut, big overhand, Krylov's either going to get chicken legged and then finished, or he's just going to sleep. That's what I'm seeing in this fight. And I can see the future. It's one of those things where like I get visions, not necessarily of the past, but of the future, you know. And this is what's going to happen. On to the main card. Oh, baby, on to the main card. We got Bobby Green versus Terrence McKinney. I'm going to take Bobby Green to win this one. Terrence McKinney is very dangerous in the first 2 minutes of the fight. You know, if you can outlast that kind of initial barrage of offense from him, he doesn't really have defense. You know, his last fight, Kyle Nelson, I want to say. I think it was Kyle Nelson. It was in Seattle. I saw it. It was sick. I think Bobby Green outlasts what Terrence McKinney was throwing in that, though. In that sequence, that finishing sequence McKinney had in his last fight. Or not even the finishing sequence, but the sequence that led up to the finishing sequence. If that makes sense. I think Bobby Green survives that and maybe throws back, catches McKinney. You know, we've seen McKinney put out cold. We've seen him subbed. This guy can lose, and if he doesn't put you away in the first round, he does lose. You know? It'd be crazy that I'm saying all this and then it goes to decision. But this is make sure you're in your seats when the opening bell goes off type fight. Because it could end in the first 15 seconds, could end with 1 second left in the first round. I'm taking Bobby Green to win this fight, though. I think he's going to outlast that initial barrage. McKinney's going to kind of gas, drop his hands, get caught. That's what I'm seeing on this one. Bobby Green to win this fight. Next up the card, we got Brandon Raw Dog Royval versus Lonnie Kavanaugh. I'm going to take Lonnie Kavanaugh to win this fight. You know, Royval does have that dog in him. Or he did have that dog in him. His last 2 fights, he's had a lot of damage. You know, he's taken a fair amount of damage over, like, kind of throughout his career. But his last 2 fights, he's taken a lot of damage. Bad knockout against Cop. And then that war of a fight against Josh Van. And Josh Van's got power. So I think Lonnie Kavanaugh is going to get this fight. I don't necessarily think he's going to just starch Royval like Cop did. Cop, you know, Kavanaugh doesn't quite have the cup size Cop does. So I don't think he's just going to starch him, but he does have power in his hands, and he does have very fast hands. He is a very fast fighter. I don't think he's 5'6". I've seen him stood next to Topuria. He looks like a solid like 5'2", 5'3". I could be wrong on that. Maybe Topuria was, you know, wearing the heels in his shoes, the clavicular fucking height height maxing heel things. Maybe he was wearing those and was making himself to be like 5'10", 5'11", but Kavanaugh looked very small next to the guy. So, maybe he's just going to go in there and just be totally outmatched against the size of Royval. I don't think that's going to be the case. Royval does have some very short arms. He only 1 inch of reach. So, I'm going to take Kavanaugh to win this fight. I think he's going to be able to, if he wants to stay on the outside, I think he'll be able to do that. There's not a huge reach disadvantage he's at. He doesn't have to blitz in. But he is very fast, so I do think he can blitz in, get in, either get a takedown or just get into the clinch and start kind of dirty boxing with a Royval. I don't necessarily think that'd be the smartest thing to do. Royval kind of thrives in those dogfight type fights. So I don't think that'd be the smartest thing for Kavanaugh to do. But I think he could do it. So I will be taking him to win this fight. Next up the card, we have Corey, the Sandman Sandhagen, versus Mario Bautista. I'm white. I don't know if you've noticed it, but I kind of have to choose Corey Sandhagen to win this fight. He is my guy. He is our guy. We are rooting for Corey Sandhagen. I do think he's going to win this fight. Mario Bautista is a very solid fighter, but when the whole levels talk gets thrown around, I think Corey Sandhagen truly is on another level than Mario Bautista. This is their second fight. He subbed him in the first. Corey Sandhagen, he's just a stud, man. That's all there is to it. I saw him fight too. He lost to Marab. That's how she goes. I won money on that fight. My buddy lost money on that fight. That's how she goes. I am picking him to win this one though. I think he's just a much better, not better, much more well-rounded. If he wants to knock out Bautista, he can throw a wheel kick and catch him with the heel on the temple. If he wants to submit him, he can do a heel hook on him or a leg lock or whatever the fuck he got figgy with. You know what I mean? If Corey Sandhagen wants to finish this fight, he should be able to finish this fight no problem. I don't think Bautista is going to just be able to hold him up against the fence. Which, after the Aldo fight, that's not his main game plan, granted, but he does go to that a fair amount. He does hold people up against the fence, and I don't think he's going to be able to control Sandhagen up against the fence in this fight. Sandhagen actually is at a reach disadvantage in this one, but he is the taller guy by 2 inches. Taller by 2 inches, 2 inches less reach. So, bigger frame, shorter arms. I think Corey Sandhagen gets this one done. This is going to be a very close fight, but with it being close, I think it's going to be very entertaining. I don't think it's going to just be a boring, they have nothing to judge off of close. I think it's going to be, oh, well, he did this, Corey did this, well, Mario did this, and Corey then did this, and then Mario did this. I think that's going to be the reason it's tough to judge in a very close fight, but I'm going to take Corey Sandhagen to win that close fight. On to the co-main event. We have Benoit Saint-Denis versus Paddy Pimblett. Classic French versus English. I'm going to take Paddy Pimblett to win this fight. Benoit Saint-Denis, I believe, is the better fighter. Overall, I think yeah, I think BSD is the better fighter overall. Paddy Pimblett is the better mixed martial artist overall. You know, um, he does have very good grappling, very high level jiu-jitsu. His striking's not the best, but neither is BSD's, so it kind of cancels itself out there. Both of these guys are very good on the ground, but they're very not defensively sound on the feet. I guess the main reason I'm taking Paddy Pimblett is because I saw a picture or it might have been a video that BSD posted on his Instagram. I saw it on Instagram of BSD's ankle, and he had a fucking volcano on it the size of a quarter. Same volcano that he had on his forehead when he fought Poirier and gassed out because he was on staph infection, antibiotics, and got knocked out in the second. So that's my hang up in this fight, I guess you could say. I think if BSD isn't on antibiotics, he's not going to gas out. If he can hold a pace the entire fight, he wins this fight. He has killed people in real life, so he's undefeated when it really matters, if you really think about it. That kind of leads into his finishing instincts. If this guy gets you hurt, good luck. If BSD hurts you, he is 9 times out of 10 going to finish the fight. I think Paddy, they're both big guys, but Paddy's used to being the big guy in the fight, and BSD's actually going to be a bigger framed guy than Paddy. It's just coming down to the antibiotics. I think if his gas tank's ruined, he loses this fight. But if that wasn't real, I guess, if I got goofed on, I think BSD wins this one. Another thing, I almost forgot this. BSD is very dangerous on the fence. Like, most of his finishing sequences start when he's got you backed up against the fence, and either you're backing into the fence or you're trying to circle off of the fence. And when Paddy Pimblett circles off of the fence, he loves to have his hands down. Like, he's down at his hips with his hands when he's circling off the fence. And I could definitely see, BSD pushes him up against the fence. Paddy circles out, hands low, head kick. Maybe the Scouser does get knocked out. I don't know, man. I'm getting the same feeling I had with the Poirier fight. I saw the staph infection. If I got goofed, I got goofed. But that's not good for a gas tank, and BSD needs a gas tank. Paddy Pimblett is very tough to finish in the early rounds. I think Paddy wins this one. Next up, the card. The moment you have all been waiting for. We have Conor Mystic Mac McGregor versus Max Holloway. Here's the thing, you guys. My brain is telling me to choose Max Holloway here, right? More active fighter. He's proven himself. He's good against top level opponents recently. I can't not choose McGregor to win this fight. I'm gonna take McGregor first round knockout. Now, hear me out here, alright? I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious, okay? The UFC cover curse, that is a real thing, 100%, no doubt. No doubt in my mind. Max Holloway is on the Ultimate Edition of UFC 6. ugh, you know what I mean? That's tough. Another thing. This fight's at welterweight. Max Holloway's never fought at welterweight before. Conor McGregor has. Max Holloway didn't have enough time to truly build himself into a welterweight. You know, he's just going to be a fat lightweight out there. And he might be the type of guy that can just put on weight easy. He might be that type of guy. But, I don't know. I think he's going to be pudgy. He's going to be slower than he's used to. I mean, it's the year of the underdogs. McGregor's plus 180, I want to say. Plus 175. Year of the underdogs. Main events with underdogs. I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious. Year of the unk. McGregor is older. I believe. I want to say McGregor is older. I could be wrong on that. But I believe McGregor is a little bit older. Also, the glaring one, McGregor's been on steroids for the past 4 years, at least. He's had bare minimum one steroid cycle within that time. So, you know, he's fought at 170 before. Max hasn't. He's been on steroids. Max hasn't, we don't think. He hasn't fought like he has been on steroids. Max doesn't really have the one-touch power to put you away. And I don't think he's going to have it at 170. I think McGregor wins this fight. I think he starches Max Holloway early. And it's just a storybook ending to a perfect night of fights. I sweep the card, go undefeated on... I actually don't go undefeated on picks. I want Elisha Ellison knock out Gable Steveson. So I go, 12-1, 13-1, whatever it is. And McGregor wins. Storybook fashion. I could definitely see Holloway surviving the first round and McGregor gassing out and Holloway winning that fight, though. I'm not gonna sit here and just be 100% delusional. I want to be, though. I think I might bring back the parlays for this card. This is a momentous occasion. You know, we've had a bit of a hiatus. Since what was that, 328? I want to say when Strickland won. Strickland won the belt. We've had a bit of a hiatus on the parlay since then. We might bring it back. Taking Conor McGregor to win this fight by knockout. First round. That'll be the video. Thank you guys for watching. This has been Wheezy MMA. I'm Wheezy, and I'm out. Have a good one.